What is the proof for God? Is there any conclusive proof of God? In looking for conclusive proof of God, one must first consider what type of evidence counts. For example, we cannot see the wind, yet we know it exists because we feel it, hear it, and see its effect. Likewise, no one has touched the sun, yet we know it exists because we can see its impact in our world and beyond. In the same way, we can speak of evidence for God from the basis of the things God has made and the ways God has worked in the universe as well as in our individual lives. One logical way in which we can provide proof for God's existence is through the natural universe. The universe is either an illusion, is eternal, or had a beginning. Since we would normally reject that all existence is an illusion, and scientific evidence points toward a beginning of all space, matter, time, and energy, it is most likely that all created things had a beginning. Something that has a beginning requires a cause. This first cause can be defined as God. The best evidence or proof points toward his existence. A second way to speak of proof for God's existence is found in the complexity of design throughout creation. From the complexity of the stars in the sky to the vast number of advanced parts within even the tiniest cell, the evidence points toward intentional design rather than random events evolving toward today's observable universe. In philosophy, this is described as the argument from design or the teleological argument for God's existence. A third way to discuss proof of God is found in the universal sense of morality. In other words, every person adheres to some system of right and wrong, even though people vary greatly in what is accepted as right or wrong. This universal sense of right and wrong points toward an outside, objective source of morality. This is often called the moral argument for God's existence. Yet another way to speak of evidence for God is to appeal to the vast number of unexplained occurrences of miracles and the supernatural. Are all of these events explainable by natural causes? If not, then the existence of a supernatural being is at least possible. More specific to the God of the Bible are the many predictions made regarding the Jewish Messiah in the Old Testament that were fulfilled in Jesus Christ. See this article for more. Though predicted hundreds of years before his coming, they described his virgin birth, Isaiah chapter 7 verse 14, his town of birth, Bethlehem, Micah chapter 5 verse 2, his Jewish tribe, Judah, and many other areas, including his suffering, Isaiah chapter 53, Psalm chapter 22. Though one could argue for a few seemingly random connections, the number of accurate predictions and level of detail make it so improbable as to be considered statistically impossible for one man to coincidentally meet them all. Fulfilled biblical prophecy points toward a God who is sovereign and omnipotent. While some would reject these arguments as conclusive proof of God, the evidence for an eternal, all-powerful Creator God is strong. Further, the evidence for the God of the Bible and Jesus the Messiah include great detail worthy of further study for those investigating the claims of Christianity.